of our ABC School Board and trustee of the City of Hawaiian Gardens, Chris Apodaca, to come up and give his report, please. It was Student Government Day today, so you got to rise that up.
It's one of my favorite parts of the meeting. Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Chris Apodaca. I am the Trustee Area 7 representative as well as Board President of ABC Unified School District. I'm glad to be here, and it's an honor to continue to serve this academic year as President of the School Board. And in that capacity, I wanted to make a few announcements and give some updates on some of the things that we're pushing and we're dealing with at the school district right now. First and foremost, I have, as well as the district office, have been receiving phone calls over concerns with Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE. So I'm going to make this as clear and simple as possible. It has long-standing been our policy at ABC Unified to not release any student to anyone who is not a parent or a legal guardian, absent a warrant or a court order signed by a judge. I feel the need to bring this up right now because, not at this meeting, but our March 21st meeting, I will be proposing a resolution to my colleagues on the board, and I hope I have your support. Please feel free to join and weigh in on as far as your opinion is. It will be available ahead of time for you to review. To remind the public, as well as our educators, what our policy is when it comes to releasing any student to any government agency. Again, I'll make it clear. Absent a warrant signed by a judge or a court order, we do not release students to anybody except a legal guardian or their parents. In some cases, we will if we have permission from the legal guardian. Currently, the policy, the way that it stands, in the rare event that they should show up, any agency, not just ICE, but any federal agency. According to a 1972 U.S. Supreme Court case, we have the right as a school district to keep the child until a legal guardian or parent or designee thereof shows up, or until we can verify that a court order signed by a judge or a warrant signed by a judge is indeed legitimate. We're going to draft this resolution working with the California School Boards Association as well as with a law firm that specializes in immigration law. This is something that I feel the need to bring up, not because we're in defiance of any type of administration or any type of political rhetoric. I'm a bipartisan position, but for the simple fact that we've had enough people reaching out to us saying, we're concerned or we're keeping our children from school. The safest place that a student can be, that a child can be, is at school, period. Do not keep them at home. Do not keep them or send them anywhere else. Monday through Friday, unless they're sick, keep them at home. Send them to school. Okay, I want to make it, again, very clear. All of our administrators, all of our educators have been briefed and have received training on the fact that this is our policy. This is nothing new. This has been a long-standing policy. We've reviewed it, and it's lawful. The principal can keep the student and refuse to release the student. Again, absent a warrant or court order signed by a judge, and we've added the extra internal control of having it be verified by the superintendent's office. I've also asked that in the rare event, should this occur, that I, along with the rest of the board, be immediately notified, as we would with any other incident at any of our schools. They're very good about this. Usually, once law enforcement contacts the school site or the district, the entire board usually knows within 5 minutes. So that's our policy. We will draft the resolution to reiterate it and to reinforce the fact that we stand by this policy and we're prepared, not just legally, but infrastructure-wise. All of our educators know if this happens, then the following things have to happen. It's called due process. And on our end, it's called performing our due diligence to make sure that our students are kept safe. Send your kids to school. Along that line, Congresswoman Sanchez is having a Know Your Rights event tomorrow, if you can make it. And in a correspondence with her office today, very brief one, they did mention the fact that they're aware of activity by ICE specifically within our district, but also within Hawaiian Gardens. If you can make it, it's tomorrow at the Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex. The address is 13000 Clarkdale Avenue, Norwalk 90650. The address again, 13000 Clarkdale Avenue, Norwalk 90650. If you have questions, you can call 562-860-5050, 562-860-5050. Bear with me as I say this again in Spanish because I feel like the folks it would affect the most speak Spanish. Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Chris Apodaca. Soy el presidente del conjunto escolar y estoy aquí para asegurar a todos los papás de familia que sus estudiantes, sus hijos, están seguros en nuestras escuelas, en nuestros campestres. Trabajando con abogados que su especialidad viene siendo ley de inmigración y junto con las organizaciones escolares del estado de California, yo junto con los demás del distrito, estamos juntando una póliza para públicamente anunciar cuáles son los derechos de cada estudiante, de ustedes como padres, y más que nada, cuáles son los derechos que nosotros, como maestros y como administradores, estamos promoviendo y estamos reservando. En caso que algún agente, no nomás de ICE, ¿verdad?, de inmigración, pero de cualquier agencia federal o estatal, se presenta en nuestras escuelas, nosotros hemos dirigido a nuestros administradores no dejar ir a sus hijos. La única forma en la cual se permite que sus estudiantes vayan a salir del campestre, de la escuela, es si van a casa con un familiar que ellos conocen, que pueden identificar, o con alguien que es guardia de ellos legalmente, ¿okay? Que quizás no son sus papás, pero son sus abuelos, o son alguien que tiene custodia de ellos, ¿okay? Y quiero también ponerlos... advertir que mañana hay una junta con la congresista Linda Sanchez en la ciudad de Norwalk. Empieza a las 6 y se acaba a las 7:30. Hay recursos legales y también hay información sobre cuáles son sus derechos, no nomás para usted, pero para toda su familia. La dirección viene siendo 13000 Clarkdale Avenue, Norwalk 90650. 13000 Clarkdale Avenue, Norwalk 90650. Teléfono para ubicarse un poco y ganar más información es el área 562-860-5050. Área 562-860-5050. Quiero de nuevo asegurarlos que durante el día de lunes a viernes, el espacio más seguro que hay para sus estudiantes, para sus hijos, es dentro del salón en la escuela. Favor de no mantenerlos en la casa. Favor de asegurar que ellos reciban la educación, el cual ellos, nomás por vivir aquí, por estar aquí, tienen el derecho de recibir una educación pública y gratuita. Si tienen preguntas, favor de contactar al distrito o también me pueden contactar a mí también. I failed to mention that it starts at 6 and ends at 7:30, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And if anybody needs a ride or you know somebody that needs a ride, let me know. I have plenty of room. Si alguien necesita un ride, ¿verdad? Yo los puedo llevar también. Favor de avisarme con tiempo. Just let me know ahead of time. Okay. Now, that was a lot. Are there any questions with regards to this? Because I've said it so many times between last week and this week. I want to make sure that you as elected officials understand what your school district's doing to protect, what your school district has always done to protect your students. Are there any questions?
Have you been in contact with Churla?
We're We have been, and actually some of the literature that we made available is a guide in Spanish and English that was distributed by them.
Yes, I'm
So
familiar with
them
that.
in conjunction with AXA, the Association of California Superintendents. So we've got about, I would say, 2 or 3 different law firms from different organizations that have offered to help. So CHIRLA is an excellent resource. Any other questions?
Just a comment. Thank you for reiterating what the district is doing to protect our students. I think it's in everyone's best interest to continue to support our education system and, make sure that the kids are getting the education that, that they need to get. So thank you for reiterating that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also just wanted to say thank you. This is really important. A lot of people are very nervous, and this is the kind of thing that we need to hear, that people are reassured that, their kids are being taken care of and that they're being watched closely by the district. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Any other questions?
No question. I just wanted to repeat what you said, that kids are safer in school. Thank you very much, Chris.
And if
for your
anybody
report.
wants to argue that, have them give me a call.
Okay.
For this particular topic, I want to remind everybody watching at home, members of the community here, we do not collect immigration data. We do not collect, as a district, documentation. And we have absolutely positively no plan to, because the emphasis by law is that any child age 5 to 18, well, 17 and a half, has to be in school, has to receive an education, whether it's public or private. However, most cases, obviously, it's public. It's the law. Every single child has a right to a free public education. I'd rather focus on making sure it's a high caliber one than focusing on having our truant officers chase students around and try to get them to school. So that said, thank you for your help. Please pass the information on. If you guys have any questions, you can contact me directly or our superintendent's office. So that out of the way. I was in Sacramento last week with Haskell Middle School, who is the 5th out of 5 schools to receive the prestigious Schools to Watch Award, which means they are a national model of how to teach middle school students. I had, when I was up there, I did have to throw it in there that Fetty got it first, but this means that all of our middle schools are national models for how to prepare our tweens, so to speak, right, our preteens, early adolescent students, for not just the rigors of high school, but to help them think beyond that. Because in middle school now, we're teaching them life skills, CTE, or career technical education. It's a foundation. You have them tinkering with robotics. You have them learning about what it's like to work in a professional setting. Middle school really is now the target. Everybody says get them in high school. It's middle school. If you can, 6th grade, but 7th and 8th grade, that's going to help them determine the path that they want to take. So we were recognized on the Senate floor. Haskell, Principal Lewis was there, and I'm grateful to Senator Tony Mendoza for recognizing us. We did meet briefly with Speaker Rendon, who was nice enough to squeeze us in, and then Assembly Member Christina Garcia. It's a great honor, especially since we have so many students from Hawaiian Gardens that attend Haskell Middle School. This next, March 7th, this next Tuesday, we are going to be having a special study session. It starts at 5:30, concludes at 6:30, to discuss the $3.3 million in one-time funds that we received. We currently have $3.3 million that's on the table, and we're deciding how we want to spend it amongst everybody in the district. If you are interested in learning more about what those funds are, show up to the meeting. If you have no idea what they are, show up to the meeting. As elected officials, it goes a long way to have a city council member come into a meeting like that and voice your opinion, because the needs in Hawaiian Gardens are vastly different than our other trustee areas within our school district, and I think all of you are aware of that. To have you there and to have your voice there would be greatly appreciated, not just by me, but I assure you by our students and by our principals and teachers in Hawaiian Gardens. It starts at 5:30, and it's a district conference room, not the boardroom, but the conference room. It's in the back right behind the boardroom. It is open to the public. Also, something that we've been working on for almost 2 years now is an ROP dissolution. You may or may not have heard some folks were saying that we're going to close Southeast Academy. We're not closing Southeast Academy. Southeast Academy has nothing to do with ROP. Southeast Regional Occupation Program is different from Southeast Academy. Southeast ROP, or SEROP, after looking through and crunching numbers, we realized that we can do everything in-house, avoid overhead, avoid the middleman, and save our district between $2 and $3 million instantly out the gate, one. And two, we can take those teachers who are teaching, whether it's auto, whether it's, actually we have a great culinary program, and bring them to the district, offer them full-time jobs at the district, pay them more, and actually give them benefits. Make them members of ABCFT, make them members of the teachers union. So for them, it's an amazing offer. We've already begun to bring teachers over. As of June 30th, ROP will no longer exist. And this is something that my colleague, Maynard Law, and I have been working on for the last year and a half, and we're very happy with the outcome. But we're not closing Southeast Academy. That'll keep going. It's a separate entity that's operated by Norwalk La Mirada School District. So in case you heard that, I addressed that, but also too, we're saving money. We're saving money that'll allow us, instead of having an entry-level program that they'll maybe make 10 to 12 bucks an hour in, to now give us more room to have an LVN program. Imagine having a student graduate as an LVN with an LVN license right after they turn 18, and then hopefully, collaboration with Cerritos College, having them go from an LVN to an RN within a year. We're talking right out of high school making 20 to 25 bucks an hour. That's not bad. We're talking within 2 years of graduation, just so long as the college can accommodate us, making significantly more than that, at least double. These are the types of jobs that we have a need for. We've already begun floating the idea with two major large health providers that said we will take LVNs. We will not only pay for licensing, but we'll offer them internships right out the gate. These are the types of collaborations that we welcome at ABC, something that assures that our students have a career, they're career ready, and then from there they can build onto it. If they want to go to a four-year, great, but at least they can help out at home, or they can move out and be on their own, but they can afford and they have options. And that's what we strive to offer our students. Career readiness, of course, and college preparedness, of course. They're not mutually exclusive. Also, too, I wanted to mention briefly that there was a parent who approached us with regards to a concern at one of those schools. Her student was denied a lunch because there was no money on their account. It was a total fluke. She forgot to reload the account. However, visibly she was upset because her child is an athlete. And I bring this up because as a result of that conversation and that parent actually reaching out and saying, hey, I have a concern, I'm upset, I have an issue, we're revamping the policy. Our new policy moving forward is no student will be denied a lunch if they can't afford it when they're there, if there's nothing on there, if they don't have money. There's limits to it, and the specifics of the policy will be made available to all of the parents. I believe it's fairly simple. Now instead of saying, well, you're of a certain age, there's no money on there, you don't qualify for free and reduced lunch, now they're allowed to miss up to a certain amount of times without paying it or putting reimbursement in there. It doesn't affect anybody who's on free or reduced lunch. It only affects those who pay cash for their lunch. But it's one of those small little things that, goes a really long way. I really encourage parents and community members to reach out to me. In most cases, I get back to them within a day or two, and it's always me that gets back to them. And I will end with really good news. Our superintendent was named Superintendent of the Year for Region 14 by AXA, which is the Superintendent's Association in the state of California. That is huge because she's a good superintendent. She's a great superintendent. She's Superintendent of the Year. But it means that we also beat out some of our neighboring school districts, which for me, I'm just kind of like, next time I run into any of my colleagues from these neighboring districts around here, I'm going to remind them that my superintendent's better than theirs. So that said, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate the time tonight. And if there's anything that I can do or any ideas that you have, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm always available. If I don't answer, leave me a message, text me, email me, the usual. Okay? Any questions or any? Cool.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Good job.
All right, everybody.